everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Head Over Heels. As usual, I'm your host, Maggie, and today I've got two very special guests who are also super moms. And I was just thinking, it'd be so fun to bring cool moms on the set to talk about what it's like being a mother and raising kids. Because, I was once a kid and I can only imagine what it's like raising me. But okay, before we dive even deeper, I would love for you guys to meet Siu Lim on my left.
Hello, hello.
And Jeslina Hashim on my right.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, ladies.
Hi.
Were you nervous before you got on the show?
Not really.
Oh, love it. Look at that confidence.
Rushing over and let's do it.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself. Maybe we can start off with Jeslina first, since Siu Lim's been on the show before.
Hi, I'm Jeslina Hashim. About 20 years ago, I released my first album. I think 40 or 44. So about 24 years ago. And then I was also acting. I acted in some movies, some TV shows, and I also hosted some singing competitions. And I walked away from it after I had my children. And now I design jewelry.
I love it.
Yeah, I hand make every single piece. So
the ones you're wearing too?
this one, yes.
Those of you guys who cannot see what we're talking about, please head over to our YouTube, and it's very beautiful. Like
Thank
it
you.
says your name. Your
These are so I get
The
parts
initials?
like initials and charms and I put them together.
Nice.
So yes,
Okay.
that takes a lot of my time.
Well, you have the time now.
I do.
Yeah?
I do.
Okay, before we dive deeper into, the nostalgia of teenage years, what about you, Siu Lim? Tell us about yourself.
Well, I have been on this show before.
Yes.
My name is Siu Lim. I am a Chinese American Pilates instructor in Malaysia. And I have 4 of my own kids that are, okay, I'm going to try to remember this, 16, 13, 7, and 8. And
You have 4?
Yeah.
I'm getting into Pilates.
Yeah.
But both of you have really good shape. You're in really
Well,
great
I'm wearing
shape.
something really loose.
Okay, I'm just really excited with how this episode is going to go already. But of course, just a little bit of a summary before we go deeper. Today's episode will either trigger lots of nostalgia for some of you or maybe make y'all cringe a little bit because we are throwing it back to our teenage days. So we're going to talk about our teenage years, mums, and your teenage kids, okay? Right. So just a recap of your teenage kids. So, Jeslina, you've got 2 kids.
I have 2.
Micah?
Micah and Kira, 12 and 14. Well, Micah's 14, Kira's 12.
Okay, and Siu, you've got Yusuf who's 16 and Sophia who's 13.
Right.
Am I right? Okay.
And
so
2 other kids.
yes, and 2 other kids who are not teenagers yet.
No, that's true. That's
correct.
true.
Yet. Okay. So I hope you guys are ready because we are gonna dive right in right now. Okay. So let's talk about being a mom. What is it like being a mom?
Jeez. I don't
We
know.
could write a
like,
big story about that.
I know. I don't know. Maybe I find my son easier.
Okay.
And I heard a lot of people say it's daughters and moms.
Yeah,
Like
they bond.
sometimes. No, they don't. Well, not mine. Like sometimes I say you just shut your mouth. Just shut it. Shut it. You don't have to argue. Just don't open it. You know. And she's like, and I like you don't have to say something for the sake of saying something.
Yeah.
But she just has to.
Something to say.
Yeah. I remember when she was 3 or 4 and I was driving and I was going crazy in the car and I was screaming and my son was like, Kira, I think you should just shut your mouth. Mommy's really going cuckoo right now. And she couldn't, and she's like, but I have something to say, I'm not done. And she's really something else.
Well, where do you think she got it from?
I think me. I can't even say daddy because it's not true. And everybody who sees her like that, they're like, oh my God, it's you. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's true. Like kids these days, I feel they're built differently.
Yeah.
With TikTok, with the internet, the super access, which
Yeah.
I guess all of us didn't have that much access to the world when
Yeah.
we were kids then. So, well, I really love that. So please hold on and we'll get back to you, Jess. What about you, Sue? Like, what is it like being a mom? Now, you've got 4 kids, 2 teenagers and 2 younger ones. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think that requires more than just like a hour podcast, but definitely in a nutshell, like everything else, it's a journey. Requires a lot of patience.
She sounds so zen compared to me.
we need different personalities.
I love my children. I don't say shit like that.
I never smack them, you know. No, but I never get mad. No, but it is definitely a journey. It's definitely challenging. But I feel like as a mom, you learn a lot about yourself.
Yes, definitely.
Like what? Maybe you can tell us. Like,
I never realized how patience you actually have.
Yes, exactly. I was just about to say that, how much patience it takes. You didn't actually even know how much patience that, you know, there's so many personalities that that got brought out when I had kids, good and bad. But yeah, it's quite a challenge. Yet when you overcome a few of these challenges, it feels really good. I mean, it's a different, you know, you love them, but you hate them. Then you love them, and then you want to kill them, and then you love them, and then you're just like, get out of my house, you know? Such mixed feelings.
Well, I mean, I'm just really curious. Like, okay, I think it's really, all these are really interesting to me because I grew up in a broken family, raised by a single mom too. The both of you are single moms too, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So single moms are real cool, just saying. But like, my mom was never really there for me. So I've never really had this encounter with my mom. Like, not too much fights because I only see her once or twice a year because she had to work outstation, right? So I never really had that. So I'm going to have a lot of questions for the both of you because I feel like I might be able to relive some of my teenage years if...
She'll be like mom of the year when she finally gets one.
Me?
Child.
Yeah. I hope so. No, wait, I don't think
After
so.
today.
I've got a child at home already and it's my boyfriend.
Even that really tall person.
Yes, this 191 cm tall kid that just drives me up the wall. But yeah, okay. If you think I'm a good mom, what kind of mom do you think you are, Jess?
Oh my God. I don't know where to start.
So much energy. Let it out.
What kind of a mom do I think I am?
Like cool, but still a tiger mom?
I'm definitely not one of those that's like sleep at 8, eat at a certain time.
Okay.
Don't leave the table unless you finish your vegetables. I'm like, you're hungry, you eat.
That's true. That's true.
When you want to eat, when you're hungry, you find the food. I'm not gonna sit there and make you eat your broccoli. I got better things to do. Like, seriously.
But that's because now they're teenagers. Has it always been like that?
It's always been like that.
Oh, wow.
So when,
I love it.
Like, and to me, I give them space to grow and decide. Like, sometimes I think too much space. And I'm not saying that my way is right, but my way works for me because I have no patience and I got no time to force them to eat, I have a lot of friends, I'm sorry to those mummies who think that, like, they think their kids went to bed, but I know they're not. So they're talking to my kids, like, on the phone after 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So it's like, and my kids are like, I say, are you going to bed? And they're like, no.
Oh, they're honest with you?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, that's good.
And like, and they tell me, like, I'm actually talking to this person, that person, and I'm like, but their mommy thinks they're sleeping.
Yeah.
So some mommies know, some mommies I let them figure it out for themselves because they trust me.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm not very rigid. I just go with it.
Quite fluid.
Like you want to eat, you eat. You're hungry, you're hungry. You want to just make sure you get things done and your grades are there and you grow up a good person.
Yeah.
And you know the line, you know what's right and what's wrong. Yeah, and you just you grow up good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Because I think my mom is a little bit like you. You want to eat? Okay. Go get food yourself.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget to feed them. I'm definitely not going to win Mother of the Year.
But it's a different kind of parenting style. It works for you.
Because they always say they're not hungry. And my daughter started cooking for herself like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
So like every time I ask her, do you want to eat? Like she's like, no, I'm fine. I'll do it on my own. So sometimes they come up and they're like, Mommy, I'm hungry. I'm like, oh shit, it's 2 p.m.
Can you cook?
I can,
Okay,
but I hardly do.
Okay.
I can.
Okay, I like
But
that.
they don't really like my cooking because they like oh my God,
Mother
that's
of the
so
year.
Mother of the
I know. Because they like simple food like roti canai,
Okay.
garlic fried rice, and when I make it, they don't like it. So I don't know. I don't know.
Just give them the cash to go buy it themselves.
Yeah, I'm like, here's the money. Go feed yourself.
I want to say though, I have to add in that just I feel like being a single mom
Yes.
is a different. I think most of us have that do what you want kind of attitude.
Yeah.
You too? Are you like that too?
No, okay. So at the beginning, when I was married, I was very, very tiger mom. Studies must be perfect.
Yes.
Bedtime must be on the dot. Dinner must be here. You must be, everything was actually, I want to say, really strict. And I think being a single mom, I didn't have the time to do all that anymore. I didn't have the time to helicopter over them.
Yeah.
And what happens to them and us is that I actually feel that my kids become more resilient where because I leave them alone and I'm like, you know what, figure out your transportation there. So they'll call Grab, whatever, and figure out your food. They learned how to cook at a very early age because I was a single mom because I couldn't do all that anymore. I couldn't cook for them. I'm sorry. I got to go to work. You have to figure out how to microwave the food. But, over time, they managed to make garlic fried rice, their own eggs, lasagna, whatever, and better than I can. So, yeah.
That's good. I think I can definitely resonate with that because, like I said, my mom was never really there during my teenage years. So I had to do a lot of things myself, like looking for the right place for tuition for this subject or that. And then how do I get there? Do I
want
walk
to give you a
there?
hug.
Yeah, I walked to school. I mean, not walk to school. At one point I did because it was like 5 minutes away because there was no one to kind of send me or whatnot. But eventually I managed to find a school bus. So I just asked my mom for money. Oh, Mom, it's $50 a month. Okay, take it. And so I was very independent in that sense as
But
well.
look at you now. I mean, I think one thing stereotype is that, people think that with being a single parent, you say broken family, but I look at the kids that grew up in a quote unquote broken family and I think they're amazing kids. Amazing. And
Thank you. Oh, I would like to think so. But yeah, I guess in retrospect, I'm kind of glad that I lived my life that way because I'm now a very independent person. I am okay not relying on too many people. Now, of course, there are certain things like emotionally, I would need my loved ones to be there. But like in general, I think I'm pretty independent. So like even for you, Jess, like I think your kids are going to be so freaking
Yeah, they're
cool.
fine.
Yeah. I love it. Oh my God. And
I can throw them anywhere in the world. They'll survive.
True.
I know.
Yeah.
True.
Like even like my daughter, she's so strong, right? Because like there was once she said, "Oh, mommy, all my friends are all at this girl's house for a sleepover."
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, but you're not invited." She's like, I said, "How do you feel about that?" And she's like, "Mommy, I'm fine. They don't want me there. They're lost." I don't have to worry about my kids being bullied.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're very strong.
Yeah. But I do feel like as teenagers, for them being teenagers, being a single mom and dealing with teenagers, I feel like I have to really focus on being their friend.
It's one of my questions,
Yes.
actually, since you brought it up. Like, how do you be a mom and a friend all at the same time? Or can you? Is that humanly possible?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a mom, so I don't know. I would love to know that.
Yeah, I think it's possible because I'm doing it now. And
Yeah.
I think, and that was the difference between what I went through compared to what they went through. I had parents when I was a teenager.
Right.
That meant a lot of nagging. That meant a lot of, you can't do this, but you only can do that. And yes to this and no to that. It's a lot of rules and directions. And I didn't have the freedom to do what I wanted to do. So for my kids, I just end up, like you, just do what you want to do, whatever, and just be their friend. Because I think as a teenager, that's what you need is a friend.
Yeah.
You don't really need someone, in their perspective, you don't need someone to lecture you about what's wrong and right.
Yeah.
You need someone to be there for you and to be able to talk to you about anything. Sometimes, especially confidence is a big thing as a teenager.
Course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for me, I always tell my kids like, if we learn together. We're going through this together, right? And if you're going through something, if you can't talk to me, talk to someone. Talk to someone you trust. Talk to an auntie or but you need to talk to someone. And like when my son, we had a tough time when my son was going through puberty, and so my friend sent me this article about in school they teach you what changes you go through physically, but not what changes goes through in your brain mentally. So that was one of the best articles I've ever read, because what it taught me was like, basically you're tired all the time and you are grumpy and you are angry because your brain is basically growing and is deleting what you were as a kid and rewriting a new personality for you. And that's why you're always lost. You're angry, you're tired. So that's why I took my son, we were fighting all the time. And I sat him down and I said, I am so sorry. And I said, the thing is, as much as you want me to respect you, you have to respect me. And we both have to understand that this is our first time going through this. I need to understand and be more patient. The next time that you're upset or you snap at me is because you yourself don't understand why you're upset and you're snapping at me. So I have to be more patient. And I said, you need to be more patient with me. When you snap at me, sometimes I'm having a bad day. So maybe you snapped at me at the wrong time. So I said, let's make a deal that you and me, we try and be more understanding. Next time we're both having a bad day, or we're feeling angry or agitated, to just always be mindful of what the other person might be going through as well. So that was a very important conversation I had with my son.
Communication, like every relationship. I think a lot of communication helps with, especially raising a teenager. Is that they're going through something. They're trying to be young adults, whereas we have our own problems, and then it clashes.
Yeah, and I think a lot of kids these days, or at least me. Okay, and I'm just going to use myself as an example. There are a lot of things that I dare not tell my mom. And
why is that?
I don't know. I think she's definitely not like as open as you guys are, or maybe she never really showed that side of her.
I think most parents when we were growing up, they're not.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is a completely different generation.
Correct. So the generation that I was in, my mom never really talked about her feelings. In fact, I've never seen her cry. I've never
to this day.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay, maybe the other day she did for the first time in my life, and I didn't know what to do with it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay. I've never seen her get emotional except for being angry, but I've never seen her be vulnerable. So I never knew all these kind of emotions up until maybe in the recent years as I was growing up. So I think I did struggle with a lot of dealing with my own emotions because I never learned it when I was a kid, or learn how to express, learn how to manage it. So I think it's just so awesome and so nice to see that the moms of this generation, like you guys, are kind of like breaking that cycle. And I just want to say thank you. I think the kids are going to appreciate it when they grow up. Really, really.
That's the key term, when they grow up. Right now, I'm like,
now, get out, please get out.
But how do you have tough conversations? Like, do they have boyfriend, girlfriends at the age?
Mine, no. I'm a bit worried.
You mean you're worried that they don't have a boyfriend? Or wait, can you clarify? What are you worried about?
Because like my daughter, a lot of her girlfriends have boyfriends, right? And then I was
how old is she again?
She's 12. Well, they think it's their idea of a boyfriend.
Yeah.
So I asked her the other day, we were in the car, and I said, Is there a guy you like? Do you have a boyfriend? And she's like, ew, no. and I'm like, do you like girls? And she's like, Mommy, why would you think that? And I said, because you never talk about boys. And she's like, well, I never talk about girls either. So I'm like, I just want you to know that it's okay. My friends they were mortified. They're like, why would you say that? I said, I just wanted to know it's okay.
And I love that she's not quite interested yet.
Yeah, she's like, well, I never talk about girls either. I said, okay. Stop screaming at me. I just want to know. I just want to be a buddy. Just tell me. I'm cool with it.
That's so cool.
Cool mom trying to be cool mom.
Trying to hard.
What about Micah?
Micah,
I'm sure he's a very
thinks
charming
girls
boy.
are disgusting because he hates his sister.
That's the age.
Yeah, he just doesn't like.
Yeah, then they end up falling in
Him
love
too.
at
I said,
17.
whatever.
And hit us
Whatever
hard.
you want, whatever makes you happy.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah. What about you, Sue? Do you have conversations like that with
I
them?
do.
Like,
And I was like sitting here trying to think, okay, how do I protect their privacy right now
Okay.
without like, but yeah, we do talk a lot about relationships, which is something my mother never, my
Yeah,
mother
me
and
too.
father never spoke to me about. So I had all these like cooped up feelings about boys that I didn't know what to do with it. And we talk a lot about it. And we, at a very young age, I spoke to them even about sex.
that's great.
Because I feel that is a very important thing. From a mother, it's very cringeworthy. Yes, it's a very tough subject
yeah,
to talk
for
about
sure.
with their teenagers, but it's a very important thing to talk about. And one thing I had to do was I had to learn to be okay with it myself. I had to say the word sex and the word, I want to say it, but I don't know what was allowed, vagina, penis, in a normal manner. Because if I cringe, they cringe. So I had to talk about all that, not just about liking boys, not about just crushes and boyfriends, girlfriends. I had to talk about what comes after that.
For sure.
And the safeties and, all the rules and regulations, or if there are any, and I think, like I said, communication, very important.
I just kind of brought me back to a memory of my conversation with my mom about sex. She never mentioned the word sex ever. She just told me, okay, just make sure you don't get pregnant. If you do, then save my money, don't go to school. So kind of like in a way to make sure that I don't get pregnant.
Okay.
Because if I do, that's the repercussion.
The repercussion. Okay.
But like the way she said it was so brutal that I was like, it took me a while to process. Okay, why would I want to get pregnant? Oh, okay, I got it. So a lot of things I have to figure it out myself, really. But yeah, that's just
So
how
it's a
I was
very,
brought up.
your mother had, I want to say shallow conversations.
Yes, very,
Yeah.
I would say extremely shallow conversations, even up till now. But I guess that's just how she was brought up. So she's never experienced maybe this
Correct.
kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
relationship. And I
Right.
guess I've come to terms with it. Like, I don't ever blame her. I mean, of course, there are times I get frustrated, especially as an adult right now. I wish we had like better relationship to talk about adult things, but we just don't quite have that. And I guess I just have to accept that it is what it is. Yeah. So Jess, I feel like you've got something to say.
Well, my mom she was very tough love growing
Yeah.
up because it was really hard between her and my dad when they got divorced, the marriage. So she toughened herself up.
Yeah.
She built this wall. I don't remember getting hugs or I love yous or
Correct. Yep.
so. And my dad is a different special case. And then when I planned to start a family, I told myself my parents to me is a guide what not to be.
Yeah.
So for me, growing up, I told myself I'll be the complete opposite, and I will show my kids so much love and hug them and smother them physically. No, that sounds wrong too.
No, I get it.
I just want to really hug them, kiss them a lot.
Yeah.
Like annoyingly a lot.
Okay.
Until now.
So you always thought you're not going to grow up being like your mom or dad.
Yeah.
And how's that going?
Good.
I'm asking because we always say that about ourselves. Like we're like, no, we're not gonna be like our mom.
I'm really conscious about. I'm really conscious. Like
okay.
sometimes if I accidentally say something that sounds like her, I'm like, really back in. Pivot, turn around. Take a different lane.
But yeah, I guess sometimes we say this, like same thing even for me. Like I don't want to be like my mom ever to not talk about emotions, but sometimes I keep it to myself. Like I have it in me. So how do you break that?
I don't keep it to myself at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, children, mom is feeling emotional. Like I literally call them in their room. Can you please come upstairs? I need a hug.
really?
Yeah. And they're like, ugh.
Yeah,
But they do come.
That's a
They do.
typical
I did, they
teenage
do.
reaction.
Oh my God.
I won't leave
I'm
them
taking
alone.
notes.
Yeah.
I won't leave them alone. I'm like,
Yeah.
just hug me now.
I think as a teenage mom, we get really clingy.
Yeah.
Because we watch our kids
because
grow
they're
up.
going away.
Yeah.
Soon, like
Yeah.
in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Do you want them to go away or like just study local?
No. Well, no, sometimes after 5 straight days with them, I'm like, please leave. Get out and go. Take money, go to the mall and leave me alone. And then I'm like, come back.
Okay.
Mommy miss you. I know, I'm a bit bipolar. They're like, what do you want to do? You want me to leave? You want me to come back? I'm like, just come back.
Yeah. Oh, what about you, Sue?
Well, my kids stay in the room a lot.
Playing games. You still play
gaming, right?
But you annoy them with your TikTok.
Yes, I do. No, that's when I don't get attention from them, and then I'm like TikTok, you know. But they're such sports because so if you don't follow me, you will see my teenagers always on TikTok, and people are always like, what sports? They're on your TikTok and they're so good at it, and I'm like, yeah, but you don't know what's behind the scenes. Like you don't know that I'm like super like no, you have to do it like this, you have to do it like that. But right now at this point, they're so natural when it comes to doing it.
Well trained by mom.
All their acting skills and everything. And they stay in their rooms, and I do get clingy with them when they don't. I do get clingy with them when they don't give me attention. And then every time I do get emotional, my kids actually look at me like, "Are you going on your period?" So, they know me well. I know them well.
Love that.
I know that with teenagers, they just want to be left alone.
Yeah, they do.
And I've respected that. And I don't take it personally. Like, for example, if they don't talk to me, I don't take it personal at all. I just know that they want their space. They want a lot of space.
Yeah. That's very true.
Because they have a lot to figure out, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, which brings me to my next question. During the pandemic, you can't just send them to the mall.
I send them back to daddy's house, which is 5 minutes down the road.
So you've got always You just answered the question because the question was just like, what was it like living with your kids, your teenage kids during the pandemic?
No, I have options. I'm like, you know what? Just go back to daddy's for a few days.
Okay.
So me and my ex-husband, we get along really well.
Okay.
And we also live 5 minutes apart. So they just walk up and down. They're old enough to just go off on their own.
Yeah.
So when they've had enough with me, I've had enough with them, they go back to daddy's. So basically we're like a week on, a week off.
Yeah.
But now that they've grown up, I said to them, when we made this decision, it was 12 years ago?
Yeah.
No. That's wrong. 10 years ago. So I said, now that you're older, you decide. If you want to stay longer at daddy's, you can. You want to stay longer at mommy's, you can. So when we've had enough of each other, we just take a break and then they come back and we restart.
That's so cool. Like kind of like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Really.
When I have a lot of work, I know I can't give them time.
Yeah.
They go back to daddy's. So like I make my jewelry. So when it's my week, I make sure I'm working up until 3. So when they come back from school, I'm theirs.
Yeah.
So I can I watch movies with them, read with them.
Yeah.
I want to say do homework, but I have no patience for that. I'm like, you're on your own.
So the dad does that?
Yeah, well, no,
they do it themselves?
They do it on their own. As long as it's done.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you care much about their grades?
I do.
Okay.
But for me also, because I never scored really high in anything in school.
Yeah.
And I'm fine.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends are. So, like I said, as long as they grow up well-rounded, street smart, book smart, a balance of everything, I'm good.
Yeah. What about you, Sue?
What was the question? I totally forgot.
Mom brain, sorry.
Mom brain, yeah.
So kind of like, what was it like, being with your kids during the pandemic? Were they around?
Yeah, they were around. They
right?
were, like I mentioned, they were in their rooms, and I was bugging them with TikToks every now and again. Every time I had like
I have
an
to watch
idea.
this TikTok.
You have to. It's so good. Like really.
Yeah, every time I had an idea, I'd like knock in the room. I'm like, I have an idea. And they're like, okay, wait 5 minutes. So Yusuf would be playing video games. And during the pandemic, I said something to him where I was like, I don't like you playing these video games. You play sport nights all day long, and it caused such an issue because dinner time and then he'd never come. And it became such a problem because I was just getting continuously so annoyed with him.
Yes.
And even my daughter, she was always on the phone, like with her friends. It became an issue. But so like with my son, I told him, unless you're making money off of that, I don't want to hear about your video games. So a month later, guess what? He starts making money off of it. And a lot of it, may I add.
Good job, Yusuf. I'm pretty sure it's a lot.
And I was so
playing video games.
Oh, they make millions.
They make a lot of
I don't
money
know how.
By playing video games?
Yeah. Like streaming themselves playing so people watch them play?
Yeah, people watched him. And Yusuf.
Oh, that's what my son do. He watches other people play.
So your son's probably watching my son, making him money.
So wait, my son's paying your son money?
Yes, correct. And I mean, he was so awesome at it too, and he learned to make money, and he learned boy. Yeah, that's what he did during the pandemic. So I taught him, like, I want to say I was part of that. Like, I want to
initiated the idea,
his success, but he was really good at it, and he's an extrovert, so he was awesome with entertaining them and all. Sophia was always on the phone, and I was with her friends, and I was just like, oh my gosh. And I was always really annoyed about that, because I was like, all you do is go on your phone. And then I would complain to my parents, like, all she does is go on her phone. And they're like, so what'd you do when you were a teenager? And I was like, touche. Because I was on my phone all the time when I was, and I do remember when my parents would call me for dinner and stuff, I'd be like, 1 minute. And we talk on our landline, and then on our landline. And you remember when, like,
with
our
the
parents,
wires.
Remember when our parents would pick up the phone on the other side? We'd be like, I'm on the phone. So I did that. Yeah. So we always had alone time with, I am that type of parent though, still to this day. When it's dinner time, it's dinner time.
Like,
I don't have the phone around. We don't have, because it's literally our only time to shut off with the technology and stuff. And we have this rule that even though we don't know there will be those awkward times we don't know what to say to each other.
Yeah.
But we will fight it through, and we're like, so, how are you? Good. How are you? Good. Cool. And we will fight it through because we have to. Because we had to have some form of silence with each other to make sure we had a conversation. And even though it was a silent conversation, it did bring us together. Because otherwise we were continuously on this technology. And I was always working in my own office, and I was, busy with my TikToks and my classes and everything. And we worked out together. Yeah. We worked out. They hated it so much. They hated it. Like, they hated the fact that I was like being super cougar, like tiger. Yeah. Like, tiger. I was like, I was, I wasn't doing Pilates with them. They hate Pilates. They absolutely hate Pilates. Okay. But I was doing a lot of hits with them, and a lot of weightlifting and stuff like that. My son is becoming more, both of them, because when they become teenagers, I feel like their body changes, and they become more aware about things, and more, I want to say, vain.
Okay. Oh my God. My son just showed me his biceps. I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah. They start becoming more vain. They start caring about the way they look. So when they start caring, so then it's true though.
I can only imagine, Mom, look at my biceps.
Yes. I get it all the time.
Really? And but the thing is, I've never seen him work out. And when he popped it, I was like, what? What is that?
Yeah.
I want one.
Or maybe two.
That would make more sense.
The next would be, Mom, look at my abs.
He does that.
Oh, does that already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But sorry, you were saying body changes.
Yes.
Vain,
yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, you think about when you were becoming a teenager, you started wanting another, you would start nitpicking at yourself, and you're like, I wish I had longer legs, and I wish I had, a smaller nose, and you wish, bigger boobs, a certain way, and that girl's pretty, and you start comparing yourself, and we all went through it, and I know that they went through it, they are going through it, but I literally, as they grew up, I literally prepared for this moment, like I made, because it was such a crucial moment. Like in my life, I want to say it was such a nightmare moment for me.
For you.
Yeah, because as a teenager, I was so low in confidence. I was so paranoid about everything. I felt real shitty about myself. Yeah. And I just didn't want my kids to go through that. It was it really hurts everything, And I always made sure that growing up, my kids, as my kids grew up, I always consistently remind them how handsome they were, how beautiful they were. I made sure that they educated themselves through their own hobby so that they had more confidence up here, so that they would gain confidence out there. Yeah. So that I really took, I really made sure I took care of that part, because it was again, being a teenager was not the funnest thing for me.
Me too. I didn't have a good teenage years.
Yeah.
And one thing that I did not have when I was growing up was self-esteem. And that made made my teenage years hell and made me make stupid decisions.
Yes.
Correct.
And I always also at the back of my mind, always number one to teach my children is self-esteem.
Yeah.
You have that. You don't. You have that. You don't let people push you around, and you know who you are. You know you're good enough. When you know you're good enough, when you know what you're worth, you don't let anybody mess with that.
Step all over you. Yeah.
So self-esteem is very important. I never encourage my kids to wear makeup. Like when my daughter wanted to try makeup and she said, why are you wearing makeup? I said, because I'm not as gorgeous as you. I've aged. You have perfect skin. You have perfect hair. You're perfect. You're perfect. You're perfect. That's why I always tell them, you're perfect. I do not encourage, I do not like, personally, my opinion, I do not like children wearing makeup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you should always tell them that they're good enough. If they think they need to enhance their beauty from 10 years old, like I do not agree. That's my personal opinion. I do not agree.
Well, like I'm actually opposite of you. I don't encourage it, but I don't say no because you know what happens when someone says no
I
to
don't
us?
say no to her, but I just don't encourage.
Yeah, so but I will let her play around with makeup and stuff like
I mean,
that.
she has eyeliner, and lip gloss,
But you don't want like
when she wanted to put eyelash extensions like me and stuff like that, and I said no. I said, you are too gorgeous for that. You're perfect. But a little bit of eyeliner to do her cat's eye, a little lip gloss is fine. But not full on makeup.
Yeah.
Because I just want her to know that without it, she is perfect.
Yeah. And I feel like that's such a difficult conversation to navigate too. Like, what if they insist on it? Like, okay, it's great that say, okay, mom, I listen to you. But what if they just rebel? Like, no, mom. Like,
well, for me, it's important to know that you don't need it.
Yeah.
You use it to play around with it, to give yourself a different look, but not because you're not good enough, not because you need.
So the intent of that action has to be instilled, which is what you did.
Yeah.
Right? I like that. Yeah, it's very true because I guess I think we can all agree like teenage years, apart from, all these changes, our physical changes, our skin changes. Like that was the time when I was greeted by the first ever pimple in my life. Like I was dreading it, but there it was saying hello to my face. Like I didn't know what to do with it. So did your kids ever go through that breakout phase?
Mine is going through it right now.
Yeah.
My daughter, not my son, funny enough.
But I feel like guys break out later in their age. But he's 16, right?
He's 14.
Oh, 14. Oh, 14. Yusuf is 16.
16. Yeah, he broke out around 14, 15.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
I broke out around 12, 13 till maybe all the way through 17, really.
Yes,
I had
that was me too. That was me too, and that's my daughter like at 12.
I never broke out.
Really?
Never.
Well, lucky you.
I know, it's weird. Well,
you can leave now.
Yeah,
Hi guys, I'm done. I have clear skin.
Yeah,
clear not anymore. But it was so funny because in school, all my friends would have pimples. I never. So, my tummy's growling. I think
no, it's fine because I think we're all hungry. Yeah,
if you
I
can't
heard
hear
it.
someone
But
bring
you
her
can
mic
hear
down.
it, right? But
I'm
because you
so
said it,
hungry.
not everybody heard it.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay.
So I never broke out in school. So that's one thing that I've got going for me when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I didn't need braces and
Wow.
I never broke out.
The door's that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can leave now. That
But
thanks, Jen.
I struggled through everything else.
Yeah, of course.
But I had. That's why it's funny for me to have to handle my daughter when she's breaking out
What's
so
that
much,
like?
and I feel so sorry for her because I'm sure it hurts. All the breakouts, and she's so sensitive. Any extreme weather, when she goes skiing, she breaks out. When she goes somewhere, it breaks out. When she eats sugar, it breaks out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's really sensitive.
And how is she dealing with it? Because for me, I feel like breaking out is just not a skin problem. It does affect your mental well-being, your confidence, your self-esteem.
Totally.
So, well, I would like to think that she's a very confident girl.
Yeah, well, it doesn't bother her, but
how is she
I know
dealing
in a
with
way. In a way, that's why she doesn't like to take as many pictures as well.
Oh,
but going out and everything, it doesn't bother her. But I know it hurts.
Yeah.
Because she keeps picking at it.
Yeah.
And she's always looking for a new mask, always looking for a new facial wash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a girl thing.
Yeah.
Can I add? Sorry, this is kind of off topic, but you did mention that you had perfect skin, perfect teeth, yet you were low in confidence. Like your self-esteem.
Because I thought I wasn't Well, perfect skin doesn't mean you're beautiful. You know,
Right.
like for me, like
And I just wanted to highlight that because, you know, no matter what, we all go through it.
Yeah.
And especially as teenagers. And
so I just hope that she's handling it well.
Yeah.
So now I'm teaching her how to have a balanced diet. So she's really strict about her diet. She refused. She
it's like a blessing in disguise, I want to say.
She makes, pardon?
It's like a blessing in disguise. Because otherwise
so now I don't have to cook for her anymore. So she's really, really conscious about whether the chicken is fried or air fried or steamed.
Start them young. That's good.
Yeah. So she tries to prepare her own meals.
Yeah.
Wow,
I
at
teach her how to
12.
make her own salad dressing.
Wow.
Well, it's been like this for 2 years now.
Wow.
So
So,
Cool.
since 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
so my son just eats everything.
That's good. Usually guys are
Oh
big
yeah.
Is Yusuf like that too?
Oh my god, yeah. I will show
5
it on my
times a day.
story. Yeah, it's a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean like I want to say like
Right?
two
It's not normal.
grown adults, you know, and the amount of money I spend on groceries when, you know, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I don't have all 4 kids with me together, but then I felt like I was having like 10 people in the house
Yeah.
because of the amount of
It gets
food.
expensive.
Yeah, and when they eat, they really eat.
Yeah, they
yeah.
do.
And when they want the salmon sashimi and steak, I'm like,
But it's true now that I'm, you know, not living with my mom anymore, like buying my own food, I realize shit are expensive as hell.
especially healthy stuff. They're really expensive.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's true. And also like getting your own skincare and everything else, like you just have to get everything yourself now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I just push them
called
back to daddy.
adulting.
Mommy, I need a facial wash.
but yeah, like
I'm ready to get you the good stuff.
smart mom, take note. But yeah, Sue, I'm curious. Like you mentioned, you also went through a phase where he was breaking out too.
He's still going through it.
He's still going through, yes.
still breaking
Like,
out.
what's
And,
that
and
like?
I'm talking about bad. I'm talking
how
about
bad?
like
Pimple
his-
with pus kind of?
Yeah,
pimple?
like
Oh.
those really big, the unpoppable ones, you know? And not just 1 or 2 or 3, but it's a layer on top of each other as well. And
So how do you treat that?
Did it treat? Oh, you know, why I did use.
Like a doctor.
Okay, there was a few things. If you know, when they grew up, I was aware about the whole breakout thing. So I tried to have them eat healthy. I tried to have them, you know, exercise a lot. And even throughout all that, he still broke out.
Yeah.
So then I managed to get him some like. Apart from food and exercise, the products he uses, like he started using Dermalogica Clear Start, the foam wash, the you know, the moisturizer and everything, and that helped a lot.
Yeah.
On top of it, I would actually take him for facials. I don't know if he's okay
good.
with me saying that, but yeah, he does go for facials because I told him, and my mom,
all my friends' boys that have problems, they all
yeah,
go for
like
facials.
I grew up with my mom always telling me, make sure you don't touch your face with your fingers. Number 1 rule,
Yeah.
do not touch your face. And I made sure my kids didn't do that, but of course sometimes they do it. And with the facials and stuff, it's painful. It's very painful.
Yeah.
I went through facials when I was a teenager. My mom made me go through it. And I had really bad acne on my forehead, and it was like the really pussy kind. But he, you know, going through all that, I want to say it's something that the teenagers, painfully enough, you have to know that they're just going to have to go through it.
Yeah, it's just like that
It's
phase.
so
It's
painful
annoying,
to
but
watch.
yeah.
But yeah, and Sophia's going through that too. She's getting the smaller pimples.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the same thing. Both of them do the same exact thing. They go for facials, no touching face
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But with the confidence part, yes, it does play around with their confidence.
for sure.
They're definitely sometimes like you know, feeling a little bit like, okay, I don't want to be in the camera today because of my pimples. But I want to say, you know, this, you know, I make them do a lot of sports, right? I want to say because of that, they feel okay about it.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll get over it.
And especially if they're not the only ones, if they have like a few other people in their school or class or group that's going through the same
Well,
thing,
that's
that
the
helps.
thing. What helped? Okay, surprisingly, what helped was the pandemic, the lockdown. Because we were on lockdown, all the pimples they don't face people, right? They don't go to school to have to face. So I want to say that helped.
Blessing in disguise.
Yes, because they knew they didn't have to like meet with anybody.
Yes, yes.
So they're just like, it's okay.
Yeah.
The camera, okay, that's fine. Only when I
Filter.
filter. Yeah.
These days with filter too, really.
crazy.
I don't know if I like it or I hate it, but you know.
Kind of nuts, yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Well,
but
that use sparingly. It's fine.
sparingly, yes. Don't use those that completely changes your features. Maybe just a little bit of never mind. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, I guess my point really is the reason why I asked about how you guys are dealing with your kids going through that puberty, pimple, acne phase is that I don't know about you, but at least when I was growing up, we weren't taught, the methods to really achieve clear, healthy skin. I was never taught what to do when I was breaking out. Like my mom was just, don't worry, you'll go away. Like she was so blunt about it and like just so whatever about
Again,
it.
once again, a
same
shallow
thing, yeah.
conversation.
Shallow,
Yeah.
they get you that thing. What is that thing?
Pimple patch?
No,
I use toothpaste.
Oh yes, toothpaste.
To dry
Toothpaste
it
was
out.
what we did.
Yeah.
Pimple patch is a new thing, I think.
Yeah, I
it's a
never
new
had it
thing.
back in the days.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it's like I don't know. It's just like those things that you put on, or you put on like clay mask.
I think
That's what I used to
now
do.
they have it. Like back in the days,
We didn't have that.
right? No,
we
I didn't have
that.
it.
Yeah.
I must be really much older than you guys.
No, because you had a clear face, remember? you had clear skin.
skin,
So you didn't have to go
Jess.
through all that.
So tough.
But yeah, I guess I was only properly introduced to skincare in my early 20s, like really early 20s. So throughout my teenage years, not so much, which is why I want to bring this up because this episode is actually brought to you by Dermalogica Clear Start. It's I love that skincare brands like this makes it so much easier for people in general to understand and how to navigate your skincare steps, especially for moms and like moms with teenage kids or teenagers in general, because let's be honest, like I said, when I was younger, no one ever really taught me how to wash my face. I only used water for years and years, never really worked, and now I know why. So here you go, mamas. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with these products. Yeah. I really love how we are normalizing breakouts for your teenage kids. And the reason why I say that is because, like I mentioned in the intro of this episode, this special episode is also brought to you by Dermalogica Clear Start. And to those of you who don't know, Clear Start is actually a brand created by the professional skin experts at Dermalogica. Pretty sure we're very familiar with the brand Dermalogica, right?
Yep.
So this is this new brand they created, and they specialize in targeting breakouts, blackheads, and shine to help you achieve your healthiest skin. And we're talking about healthy skin, not just flawless skin. And they also formulated with vegan, gluten-free, cruelty-free ingredients. There are a blend of natural plant extracts. Pretty sure you moms would be happy about that. To have,
Yeah, definitely.
Having your kin's skin,
Yeah.
your kin's skin. I want to say kid's skin, but your kid's skin. And of course, their formula are also clinically proven and technology driven and designed to nurture and not strip your skin. So I'm pretty sure moms, you guys have been introducing this to your kids. So maybe you guys can share a little bit about the experience with our audience as well.
Well, I actually share this with Kira. I really love how it just bubbles up and clean. I love the ingredients, basically. I love the fact that it's clean product.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can also use it for different things. Like if I have a breakout at the back, or like I can
Back
feel like
acne.
Yeah,
I have it too even now.
well, sometimes like because when you work out a lot, sometimes you can't always scrub.
Yeah.
So just after workout, you just use it to wash the back and stuff like that. You can also use it for other things. Like what were you saying?
I was using it for makeup brushes.
Oh.
Yeah. So you actually can clean your
Brushes with it.
with
Oh,
it.
that's so good. Okay,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
I might just, I know maybe,
Which is what most people normally forget to do.
Yes.
Yes. I wash it maybe once a year. I'm very guilty about that.
I just get new ones
Because you got no
to
time
be
to wash
honest.
a brush.
in every 5 years.
I
love it.
because my brushes go everywhere, so I bring it everywhere with me. But yeah, definitely. And may I add that every time I do, even my kids when they do start a new product, I do kind of try it out, test it out first
Yes.
on myself.
Oh, I like that.
Because of the fact
You wanna
that
make sure it's
I
okay
want to
for the
make
skin.
sure, I want to make sure that I want to understand how they're feeling about it. So I did use the foam wash, and it was actually very light. Like I really liked it because it felt clean after, it felt really fresh after, and yeah, definitely. And like I mentioned before, he has acne on top of acne. So sometimes it could be like 3 layers of a pimple on top of each other.
Painful.
Very painful, very painful. And you know, sometimes I talk to him and I'm staring at it, and he's like, "Mom, do you need to take a picture? Like, do you want to stare at it more?"
That's what my daughter says.
Yeah.
Stop looking.
Stop looking. And you know, I feel bad for staring, but I'm just like, in my heart, I'm just like, my God, I'm so sorry you're going through that.
To see them like that.
It really is painful as a mom to see your kids going through that. But anyways, he does swear by the booster, because when he puts it on, he puts it on the pimple, and he says the next day it smoothens out his skin, so it doesn't feel rough anymore. Yeah.
Oh, he's got this really like narrow tip, so you can target the
pimple. Pimples. Yeah. So, and then the aqua jelly, he uses it to moisturize his skin.
Yes.
And I want to say that you can also use it as a face mask. You just put a little bit of a thicker layer on. So sometimes on days where, like you said, like if they go skiing or you know, on a cold, dry weather, or if the aircon's on too much, which for Yusuf, since he's playing video games
all the time,
the aircon is consistently blowing in his face. So he actually has to put an extra layer on top, just because it needs to moisturize the skin.
and soothes his pimple as well.
Correct.
It's the most painful type of acne, I feel.
It really
the layered
is.
ones.
It really is. But he's such a good sport about it. Like, he doesn't moan about it. He's just kind of like, yeah, it's my pimple.
I love that he's really cool about it, because like, I guess because you really educate them and tell them it's a phase, it will happen. Like mommy had it too, you know?
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. Definitely mommy had pimples and I had bad acne. I actually share my acne stories with them. And I remember going for facials and like, you know, the cheering, you know, and I actually told my mom, I don't want to go. Really? But she actually really made me go. Because my pimples are so bad, and she just didn't want me to touch or pop my pimples. So she's like, okay, I'm going to take you to a facial lady. And then I just remember crying because I just didn't want to go. And I just didn't like, it's just really painful to extract it all out. It is. Yeah.
I mean, even now, like when I go for facials, I cry every single time they do the extraction on my nose. It's painful. I can only imagine if it's like the pimple with the pus kind of pimple.
Yeah, exactly.
Ouch.
Exactly, yeah.
I know. But yeah, I also remember having, you know, I didn't have crazy breakout like the pussy ones, but I had like zits in here and there, especially during period. Like girls, we have, by the time you're a teenager, you are on your period like every single month already. Yeah. So I do have my occasional pimple breakouts, and it's always congested on my forehead at the time. Maybe because, I don't know, when I was in school, I had bangs, and when I'm sweaty and it's
they say that,
So I guess this whole teenage breakout phase is normal, but we understand. I mean, I'm not a mom yet, but I was a teenager before. Like, I understand how annoying and painful it can be.
And like with everything, consistency. So I keep telling my kids, you have to use it morning and you have to use it at night. Don't use it once a week and tell me it doesn't work.
Like, Mom, I used it yesterday. It's not gone.
Exactly. So it's one of those things, just like an adult, you know, anything that we use, do whatever, consistency.
And it's good that you guys tell them that. My mom just told me to wash my face with water and that's it.用水洗就可以了. I mean, it means use water to wash, you go away. I'm like, well, thanks, Mom, but it's all right. I got it.
My mom used like adult products on me. She used like Estee Lauder on me when I was like 12.
Wow, lucky you.
She was because she didn't know what to do. My parents didn't know what to do. My mom saw my face break out, and she was just like in a panic. So she would just like give me any moisturizer. She not knowing the fact that that's not. That's not like for pimples, you know. So it's actually great that this is for teenagers, made for them.
Well, right now I am educating my mom on skincare, so you know, we're going full circle. But anyway, if you guys are, you know, looking for something so that you can break up with your breakouts, you can search for Dermalogica Clear Start at Sephora.my and Sephora in-app. And why I say that is because this brand is actually online exclusive only, so you won't be able to find it in stores. So even if you go to the store physically, you won't be able to find it. So go check it out again. It's Sephora.my and Sephora in-app, and look for Dermalogica Clear Start. So Jess, your your daughter is breaking out. Yes.
Yeah. So I actually share this with her.
Oh, well, that explains her clear skin too, I guess.
And so her favorite is the aqua jelly. Yeah.
It's really cooling, right?
Yeah. Because also sometimes after you wash your face, it feels a bit dry. So I really like the aqua jelly.
Yeah.
For me, that's my favorite for her as well.
Like, how do you teach her? Okay, daughter, sit down. Let mama teach you.
No, that doesn't work with her. It's just like
My daughter actually really likes the foam cleanser. Yeah.
How
swears by
was
that.
the conversation like? Okay, sit down, use this.
well, no, she just takes it and she just does it on her own. I told you, she's a
So
difficult one to
independent.
deal with. But not difficult at some point, but in some ways it's easy. She's
Yes.
like, Mommy, I know.
Oh my
I
gosh,
know.
I love it.
Yeah. So
Sassy, smart,
you really
intelligent girl.
Can't really say much with her because she knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows, mom. But yeah, if you're really looking to have a clear start or healthier skin, really breaking up with your breakouts, check them out. Personally, I have only tried this cooling aqua jelly. Can I give you guys a pro tip? Put it in the fridge and then
that's
put it on
nice.
your
That's a
skin.
nice tip.
It's
Yeah,
the
I got her
best
one of
tip.
those small skincare fridge.
No way!
Yeah,
Really?
She
I
really,
never did that when I was
she
12.
really wanted it for
Can I be your
Christmas.
kid?
Yeah, of course. You can come home with mommy after
Okay.
this, okay?
Okay, mom.
And then so I got her the rose
roller.
quartz
Yeah.
roller,
Nice.
and her mask and all this. The
I
aqua
love
gel is all
it.
in there.
You're so supportive of her skincare journey. Start them young.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're coming to the end of this episode. This conversation has been really, really fun, and I just have a final few questions to ask you guys, okay? Mamas, what's the one thing you wish you knew about raising a child?
Oh God, you go first. I need to think.
Oh, wait,
about
hold
this.
on. Me too. Hold on.
Think about it. Take all the time
What,
you need.
again?
What's the one thing you wish you knew about raising a child, or maybe a teenage kid, whichever applies that to your answer?
I know.
I want to say,
One thing.
don't be too hard on yourself.
Oh, yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what was the question? Sorry.
What's the one thing you wish you knew?
I knew.
Like wish somebody told you about raising a child.
Oh, about raising a child.
Yeah.
Oh. Don't be too hard on yourself. Yeah,
Fair.
definitely that. Just because it's a lot of pressure raising another human being.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And you put a lot of pressure on yourself. And then what happens is that you put so much pressure on yourself, that energy actually transfers onto them. So they kind of get the pressure and stuff too, which makes everything really tense and actually more difficult.
Yeah.
So it's one of those you do you things. You do you.
Yeah.
And actually it ends up working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I would say to be more mindful and aware, like always try and look at things from their point of view as
Yeah.
well. And always remember how it was when you were growing up.
Yeah.
So mindful and aware. And as long as you can always look at something from the other person's point of view, you can handle it better.
Yeah, for sure. And how do you care for yourself while caring for your child?
By sending my children away.
I took that in my note already. Send them away, whatever they got.
have I mentioned that?
Many times. Okay, but for real, is that your tip?
What? Sorry. What
For real.
How do you
For real,
care
do you really
We're on camera.
how
For
do I
real.
take care of myself?
while caring for them?
Oh. Well, I don't know. I just always I take a lot of time out for myself. I do.
Taking time out.
Yeah, I do. I just take a step back, and because sometimes when sometimes there's a lot of noise, you're not good for yourself, you're not good for them, and you tend to say things that you're going to regret, and you don't handle things well.
Yes.
So I always take a step back,
A step back.
reassess,
Take time out when you need to.
buy a pair of shoes.
Yeah, go for it. Like
Retail
therapy.
It works
Therapy.
all the time.
What about you, Sue?
You do see that I'm a very active person.
Yes, you are.
So when I do get to my me time and taking care of myself, I definitely am very active when it comes. I know most people are just like, oh my God, exercise is such a chore. It is a chore, but then at the same time, that feeling, that reward after I do some sport activity or exercise is just so good. I'm actually very addicted to that feeling. And that's actually how I take care of myself. And I've taught my kids that too. Like I mentioned, it's if all else fails, go to I don't know, a workout or whatever.
Yeah, good tip. And I think you kind of answered this earlier, but I'll just ask anyway and see if you guys have any input for this. Any tips to all the soon-to-be moms or new moms out there?
Gosh.
Yeah, or like your
You have to be
your
more
pro tip.
specific.
I don't know. I really
That
don't know.
that alone is an answer.
I don't know.
That like deserves to zoom in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, what about you, Sue?
So sorry, you have to ask that again. I forgot the question.
What's wrong with you?
Poor kids.
Your go-to advice or tips to, or your soon to, even I can't say it again. Your go-to tip for soon-to-be moms or new moms out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to the first question
Yeah.
you asked me was that don't put too much pressure on yourself. I remember being really pressured about breastfeeding. And that, I want to say if I could turn back time and tell myself something, I'd be like, don't stress about it. If your milk is not coming through, it's okay. The child will survive. So that itself, that's just in one situation. And put that through everything, every other situation is that you just do you.
Don't beat yourself.
Don't beat yourself up.
I think that's the good one. Don't stress about it.
Yeah,
Seriously.
because it's just too much pressure. And with sometimes with all the books and the information we're provided on how to be a good parent and this and this and this, there's no such thing as being the perfect parent.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm actually always so very forgiving on my parents because I remember growing up thinking, I actually thought, I wish I had other parents. Okay, I totally regret thinking that, but I mean, I did feel that way, and then I was just kind of like always like bashing them, like, they're so strict on me, and they're so like this and this, very judgy with my parents.
Yeah.
And now that I'm a parent, I have to say, my dad did kind of like semi-curse me when my first child was born. He was just like, "I'm going to see how you deal with
can
it
do
when
it."
they're teenagers."
Yeah.
And sure enough,
That's
it's
why I tell my kids now. One day you can have children and you
one day, this is the moment.
Yeah.
But then my dad actually sees the way I raise my kids and he's like, And he's like, how come your kids are like that? And I'm like, communication. So I want to say, that's intake.
Definitely communication. And for me, what I experienced was when I was one of the last ones out of my friends to give birth, and there is such a thing as over information.
Yes. Yes.
Do not, people were telling me all sorts of things, and they would actually get annoyed if I didn't listen to them. This is how you wrap your baby. This is how you burp your baby. You got to do this, you got to do that. There is such a thing as over information. You don't need to listen to that.
We all come with motherly instinct.
Yeah.
And we follow that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
So
because I think a lot of my friends are like giving birth, and I think the conversation that was going around was, I don't know how to be a mom.
yeah.
So-
I don't think any of us did.
Yeah.
I don't do. I don't think we're not all, we come in going, we know what we're doing.
Yeah. And that's okay.
That's okay. That's
So,
fine because again, like I mentioned, it's part of the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's part of,
Okay, last two. What's the one thing you would say to your 15-year-old self?
Hug your mommy. Even though she doesn't want to hug you. Maybe she needs it.
Okay. What about you?
15-year-old self. Well, carrying on to that, I would want to say I would tell myself to be nicer to my parents, give them a break, and also that everything will be okay. Everything will be okay.
One last question to wrap it up. Anything you want to say to your kids? They could be watching right now.
Hug your mommy. I need it.
Yeah.
Be kind.
Yeah. I have a lot of things to say to them, but I love them. Right now, my kids are actually living in Turkey.
Yes.
So we have a long distance relationship and that's pretty hard. But regardless of distance, I do believe that there's a blessing in disguise for it. And I do still parent online for them, with them.
Yeah.
And I want to say it goes back to communication, no matter what. I actually think that I talk to them more now that they're gone than when they were at home, to be quite fair and honest with you. Yeah. So definitely I love you guys. Please keep talking to me. Please call me. Why don't you call me?
Call mommy and hug mommy.
Yeah.
Okay,
And hug mommy.
simple.
Yes. We need attention.
That's your CTA,
But,
call to action.
Yeah. Yeah. But to finish it off, what did you learn from us?
Oh, wow. Okay. I was taking lots of mental notes because I can't quite write it down on the spot. But I think there's just no one way to raise a child. Like just speaking to the both of you, I realized both of your parenting style are so different.
Very, yeah.
But it works like for your respective family, like yourself. So I guess there's just no right or wrong way, but just find what ways to work for you. And like I love the way you do with your kids, and I also love the way you do with your kids. I just hope I can be half of a great mom as you are. Is that the correct English? But you get what I'm saying. But yeah, you guys are so awesome. Thank you so much for being on this show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I love the energy here, and I love the contrast, but at the same time, the similarities that both of you super mom share. So, and I hope to all you guys listening today, and if you are a soon-to-be mom, if you are a new mom, or if you're thinking, what is it like one day if you're going to be a mom? Well, I hope you got some insights. And if you're breaking out right now, it's okay. You can check out Clear Start for real. I think this brand, they really know what they're doing, and I love that they also cater to teenagers.
And I love that.
And
I actually
it's not
really
something that a lot of brands do.
Very thoughtful, I thought, because I thought that was, I mean, we all use that special product, but this one I thought it was very well thought out of, and the ingredients are amazing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't see a lot of brands out there catering to teenagers, and that's something that is often overlooked. So yes, Dermalogica Clear Start, thank you so much for sponsoring this show and having both super moms here with me. And with that, I always end the show with don't forget to fall head over heels for yourself and always, and also your kids, go hug and call your mom. Okay, bye. Take care. Bye.